Slick.
Wait till that mother start hitting that body.
Yeah.
Alvarez hit that mother body.
Look how slick. Mike, look how slick he is.
Oh, he's gonna get.
In August of 2024 against Israel Madrimov to make him a 4-division champion. That's it. That's all. He hasn't fought since then.
With Crawford, I think gaining too much weight and too much muscle might affect them. If they're thinking of surviving and being able to take a punch and being able to go around.
Mike Tyson cautioned Terence Crawford after appearing with Canelo Alvarez at the press conference, saying Crawford is much too small to take on Canelo. Tyson stressed that Crawford has no real chance of beating the Mexican champion, and argued the fight is one most fans are not eager to watch. His remarks added tension to the pre-fight buzz and sparked debate over whether the bout should even take place.
That Terence Crawford is simply too small and doesn't have a chance to beat Canelo Alvarez. I am Mike Tyson. He says that this is a fight that nobody calls for. It's just simply too much of a size difference. Shannon Briggs is the believer in styles make fights, skill set, and the skill set of Canelo Alvarez versus the skill set of Terence Crawford favors the skill set of Terence Crawford, not only just to win, but to possibly stop Canelo Alvarez for the first time in his career. Now, Canelo Alvarez is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Terence Crawford is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Terence Crawford is 4-division champion, undefeated, 2-division undisputed champion. Canelo Alvarez is a 4-division champion, 2-time undisputed super middleweight champion, and reigning undisputed super middleweight world champion with a record of 63 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws, 39 wins by way of knockout.
Gabe Rosado, a respected boxing veteran, gave his take on a possible fight between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. Rosado believes Crawford does not have the punching power to seriously hurt Canelo. He recognized Crawford's skill, movement, and accuracy, but stressed that against someone as strong and physically dominant as Canelo, those qualities may fall short. Rosado noted that Canelo has taken shots from some of the sport's hardest punchers without being shaken, casting doubt on Crawford's ability to inflict real damage. In his view, the difference in strength and toughness would be one of Crawford's biggest obstacles in this matchup.
I don't see how Crawford could hurt Canelo, because Canelo's been in there with Kovalev. He's been in there with Bivol. You know what I'm saying? He's been in there with big punchers. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, how can a guy that's really a 47-pounder, even though he's up in weight, I don't see how he can hurt Canelo. You know what I'm saying? It just feels complete, because your body is different to absorbing a bigger blow. So, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, when I sparred the guys in the lower weight classes and they hit me, bro, it's like, no disrespect, but it just feels like you get hit with a pillow. It's just different. It could be a murderous puncher at 147, but if I'm walking around 185 and I'm a solid guy and I'm used to fighting guys, you know, with a different kind of power, and I spar a guy that's a welterweight, it feels like a pillow.
Boxing analyst Showbiz the Adult gave a straightforward view on the matchup, saying he does not see Terence Crawford beating Canelo Alvarez. He based this on differences in size, strength, and style. Showbiz pointed out that Canelo's experience against top fighters in multiple weight classes has equipped him with the tools to shut down opponents like Crawford. While he acknowledged Crawford's adaptability and high boxing IQ, he argued these alone would not be enough to overcome Canelo's power and ring command. In his opinion, the fight strongly favors Canelo, and Crawford would need something exceptional to change that result.
Spaceman Films. What up, Biz? Who you got? Canelo Crawford?
Yeah.
Got Canelo. I heard the punches that he hit Charlo with. I don't know if Crawford can absorb those punches. I know he's a great man and a great warrior. When you come from 147 to put on a better fight than Charlo, I mean, I don't even know what that means. I don't know if that means that Crawford is so great and he can do that, or that means that Charlo set the bar so damn low that anybody could do better than Charlo did last night.
Do skill really pay the bill? That would be tough.
It pays the bill. That's why Canelo's good to do.
Renowned trainer Robert Garcia voiced concerns about Crawford adding a lot of weight to fight Canelo. Garcia said that gaining weight too quickly or in large amounts can hurt a fighter's speed, endurance, and sharpness. He warned that the extra bulk could slow Crawford down, taking away one of his biggest assets, his quickness. Garcia also rejected comparisons between Crawford and Floyd Mayweather, saying they are inaccurate. He explained that Mayweather never put on that kind of mass to face bigger opponents and relied on speed and skill, not size, to win. In Garcia's view, moving up to a much heavier weight could put Crawford at a disadvantage before the fight even begins.
With Crawford, I think gaining too much weight and too much muscle might affect them. If they're thinking of surviving and being able to take a punch and being able to go rounds, then they're trying to maybe go the distance and they'll be happy with that. But I think Crawford's natural talent, Mayweather had it. You know, you guys were just mentioning right now that Mayweather never needed to gain weight and never needed to be heavy to be able to beat those bigger guys. I think Crawford's skills, we give Crawford a chance because we know how good he is, how, you know, his skills, his speed, his combinations. But if he's gaining so much weight, he might not be able to do those. He might not be able to have those same skills when it comes to his speed, his footwork, because of the weight. So we'll see. You know, I just hope he's not just training and getting big to survive and go the distance, because maybe that's a win for him. Maybe he's thinking, if I go the distance with him, that's a big win for me. So, you know, I just hope not. I expect Crawford to actually pull up some runs and maybe pull up the fight. But if he's too heavy, too big, he's gonna get hit, and he's gonna have to exchange punches, and that's where the danger comes in.
Gary Anchuan praised Canelo Alvarez for mastering his own style in the ring. He said Canelo knows exactly what his strengths are and how to use them to full effect in every fight. In his view, Crawford cannot simply take away skills that Canelo has spent years perfecting. From sharp head movement to precise counterpunches and punishing body shots, Canelo's abilities have been honed through top-level competition. Anchuan admitted Crawford is smart and adaptable, but emphasized that Canelo's knack for controlling the fight makes him a particularly tough opponent. He added that once a fighter reaches the confidence and efficiency Canelo shows, breaking that rhythm becomes extremely difficult.
He has mastered his style. Now, typically, Latinos, they got their own style versus melanated black people. Having like more rhythm, more flashiness and panache to their stuff, more swag.
Yeah.
We just fight different than other ethnicities. If you want to throw Amir Khan in there, his ethnicity, he was in and out.
Yeah, that's the European kind of style.
Textbook, you know, but that was his style. Canelo got his style and he mastered it. Terence Crawford cannot take nothing away from him. He's like freakishly good, you know. He go both sides, southpaw, orthodox, you know, and I feel like he adapt well. But it don't take much to get hit, especially these little 8-ounce gloves. He cannot slip up. He cannot slip up. He's gonna have to stay set from bing to bing from round 1 to 12, and he better be in shape.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like not 12-round shape, I'm talking about like 16-round shape.
Former world champion Chris Algieri discussed the difficulties fighters face when moving up in weight. He explained that adding size changes how a fighter moves, times punches, and maintains stamina. Algieri pointed out that while Crawford might appear bigger on fight night, the extra weight would not automatically mean more strength or punching power. He stressed that competing at a weight you are not used to is challenging, especially against someone who is naturally comfortable there. In his view, Crawford's skills are still elite, but adapting to a heavier frame could affect his performance, especially in the later rounds when endurance matters most.
So that's another aspect of that comparison. And yes, you know, exactly what the champ said, exactly what Abel Sanchez said, you know, you're going to put on weight, you're going to be a different fighter. And I can say this even as a fighter as myself, as I've gotten heavier in my retirement, I try and move around the gym, it just feels different. And even when you start camp, you feel different in the beginning than you do at the end. But listen, we're still 4 or 5 weeks away. I don't know exactly what Terence is weighing right now. And even if he does say what he weighs, man, he's gone out there and said he's weighed, you know, all types of crazy numbers just to get media to respond. So it's really not really going to know until the fight and we see these guys next to each other. He might look bigger right now, but he might not be that heavy. He might still be in the range that these guys are targeting for the fight itself. But I will say this, if you look at it historically, Floyd Mayweather, when he fought Canelo Alvarez, Floyd was 36 years old. Canelo was a young man. I think he was 21 or something like that, or 23, under 23, whatever the case may be. Floyd came in, how Floyd always comes in. He didn't try to put on weight for that fight. I think he came in 150 pounds, like he always did in his big fights, and even at 36 years old. And it was his speed, it was his technical proficiency, it was his skill, and his jab, which is what gave Canelo fits all night long, and eventually why he lost 11 rounds to 1. So I don't know that Crawford really needs to be packing on this muscle. And I have actually argued in my own head. I'm like, yeah, but he's older. He's not Floyd. Floyd was 36 when they.
A boxing analyst gave a firm opinion that Canelo Alvarez will not lose to Terence Crawford. The reasoning was simple. Crawford does not have the power to hurt Canelo, and without earning his respect, the fight becomes an uphill battle. The analyst also doubted Crawford could handle Canelo's heavy shots for 12 rounds given the size and strength gap. With Canelo's proven chin, physical power, and skill at controlling distance, Crawford could struggle to keep up a consistent attack. While acknowledging Crawford's achievements, the analyst was confident Canelo's strength and toughness would make the difference.
Before Pablo was on the undefeated phenom. He said that he sparred Canelo Alvarez. And he hit Canelo Alvarez with his best shot. His best shot, this is the power puncher. Yeah, he's smaller than Canelo Alvarez, but let me further explain. Canelo Alvarez didn't feel nothing. Nothing. And some of y'all gonna be like, but yo, that's Virgil Ortiz, he's smaller. Canelo Alvarez didn't feel nothing with Triple G. Canelo Alvarez didn't feel nothing versus Kovalev. Kovalev killed the man in the ring. Canelo Alvarez didn't feel nothing with Daniel Jacobs. Canelo Alvarez wasn't even demoralized by Dimitri before. He just got outboxed. He didn't hurt Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez, you see how we say Iron Mike Tyson? Well, Canelo Alvarez has an iron chin. Terence Crawford. And also, put it this way also, after the fight with Jermell Charlo and Canelo Alvarez, and I spoke to Jermell Charlo. Jermell Charlo basically said that, yo, Canelo Alvarez couldn't feel my punches. I hit Canelo Alvarez with 2 left hook and he didn't even feel nothing. Jermell Charlo was Iron Man Jermell Charlo. The 154-pound undisputed. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he's not active right now, but we all know he was an undisputed, a knockout artist that got all his belt by knocking out every opponent to become undisputed, ladies and gentlemen. Canelo Alvarez has gotten hit with the most devastating punches in his generation, 175 and 160. Fought the likes of Kirkland that was known for power.
Willie D, former boxer and commentator, gave a detailed take on the fight. He noted that Canelo Alvarez is younger than Terence Crawford, which can be a big factor in boxing. Willie D also pointed out Canelo's height advantage, giving him the ability to control distance and set the pace. He stressed that age and size are more than just statistics. They influence reflexes, recovery, and how well a fighter can take punches. His breakdown suggested Crawford would already be dealing with several disadvantages before skill even comes into play, making this a tough matchup.
Bud is 37. So you give that edge to Canelo because in boxing, youth is a commodity. Height. Canelo is 5 feet 7.5 inches tall. Terence Crawford is 5 feet 8 inches tall. So you give the slight edge to Terence Crawford right there. The reach. Canelo is 70.5 inches tall. Terence Crawford is 74 inches tall, which gives him an almost 4-inch reach advantage. Their weight, Canelo is a middleweight and Bud is a lightweight middleweight. Records. Canelo is 63-2-2, 39 knockouts. Bud is 41-0 with 31 knockouts. Canelo's last fight was a victory over William Skull. It was a unanimous decision on May 3rd, 2025. Bud last entered the ring on August 3rd, 2024, where he defeated Israel Madrimov.
John Ryder, who has shared the ring with Canelo Alvarez, gave an honest view of how a fight with Terence Crawford might play out. Based on his own experience, Ryder said Canelo's style is built on steady, calculated pressure that wears opponents down physically and mentally. He stressed that Canelo's strength is not only in his power, but also in his ability to keep a relentless pace while controlling the fight's flow. Ryder pointed out that even skilled and determined fighters can find it hard to cope when every exchange tests their endurance and toughness. In his view, Crawford's sharp skills and fighting spirit might not be enough to handle that pressure over 12 rounds. He believes Canelo's mix of strength, tactical pressure, and big fight experience could be too much in this matchup.
I think you just got to watch the Bivol blueprint, the in and out. I mean, a lot of fighters getting stick now for being runners, Tom and Jerry and whatnot. But stick to what you're good at. Terence Crawford is an exceptional talent. He's won titles through the weights, undisputed at, what was it, 3 weights now. And listen, if anyone can do it, it's him. I think the weight will be too much of an issue. Canelo is a special talent, and I think the weight will play a factor in the fight. But listen, like, Canelo once done it and made the step up to 2 middleweight. I would like Crawford to be more at light middle and middle to build into it, but you take these opportunities when they come, and that's what greatness is, chasing it.
Yeah, and I've heard that before. Like, you know, some people said if you see him at 154, he fought a Madrimov, and you saw how much he got touched. Obviously, it's 2 different fighters. But why do you think he should probably? You think he should have probably taken another fight, maybe at 160 or maybe another one at 168?
You need to build into it a bit. I think the fight with Madrimov was his first fight at
154.
At 154, and like, listen, you're still developing and growing into that weight. You could have done with a couple more there, then moved up to 160, but it's all being done as a bit of a rush. So he's not going to be fully. He's got enough time to put the muscle on to build into the weight, and he's obviously going to do it with the intention of getting back down to 154 and taking on other challenges. So it's not a long-term goal for him to stay there. But like I say, Terence Crawford is an exceptional talent. I remember watching him beat a good friend of mine, Ricky Burns, and it's like since that day I was just, my ears pricked up and I took notice, and every time Terence Crawford boxed, I watched.
While many favor Canelo Alvarez, Coach Anthony took a more measured view. He agreed that Canelo is naturally bigger and more experienced at higher weight classes, but cautioned against overlooking Terence Crawford. Anthony noted that Crawford's ring intelligence, versatility, and switch hitting ability could create unique challenges. He argued that although Canelo has faced top-tier opponents, Crawford's blend of timing, angles, and finishing instinct makes him a real threat. In Anthony's opinion, writing Crawford off completely would be a mistake, as his skill set could still create openings against a champion of Canelo's caliber.
Okay, but we have to break some things down into perspective here. First and foremost, Terence Crawford is a very strong 147-pounder. He's not a regular guy. He's not a regular 147-pounder. Another thing is, he's an extremely determined fighter. That guy's a winner. He's cut from the same cloth as the Andre Wards, the Floyd Mayweathers. You only get certain fighters that come across in a decade that have that kind of aura and that kind of determination to win. Now, if we want to break it down fundamentally, don't get me wrong, Canelo is a strong fighter. You know, he's proven himself. He got a great chin. He's fought some of the best fighters that you can ask for. But he's not that much bigger if you ask me. They're about the same size and height. Now, don't get me wrong, he's a little bit wider. He's a little bit, you know, thicker, right? Like, as far as his frame goes. But we got to be honest here, man. He's not that. It's not like we're fighting Benavidez here, okay? We're fighting a guy that he can still get his jab off. He can still use his footwork. He can still use his defense to go ahead and evade some of these punches. You know what I mean? So for me, Terence Crawford is going to be, if Canelo goes in there and underestimates Crawford's strength, that could be a mistake, okay? It only takes a few pounds of pressure to hurt a guy. You don't need to be that big of a guy to hurt a guy. So, you know, at the end of the day, Crawford is a threat as well if Canelo goes in there and overestimates his weight and his size. I've seen bigger guys get knocked out by smaller guys in the gym all the time with headgear on and 16-ounce gloves. So we have to just take a few things into account when it comes to that.
Who do you think comes out on top in this epic showdown? Share your pick in the comments below.